Sometimes a man just has to admire how good he looks on camera. I didn't realize we were filming. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Prepper Dave, and this is Welcome to the Apocalypse. You may notice my scowl is a little deeper this week. It's been a rough one. It appears that any return to normalcy has to be squashed, and there is no relief in sight. We are being told the virus is making a comeback, and a new onslaught of restrictions are being levied upon us. Oh, let me get something to drink. A bigger problem seems to be looming on the horizon, which I think deserves a bit more of our focus. The political and philosophical divide in this country is growing and is showing no signs of stopping. More and more these philosophical differences are leading to violent clashes between factions of Americans who are drawing a line in the sand, refusing to budge on their positions. There's a car. Damn. Folks who in the past have not so much as participated in an arm wrestling match think they are cage fighters and special forces operators. Both sides are engaging in a conflict that'll yield no winners. I hate to say it, I keep hearing rumors of a second civil war. I think Americans are better than that. I believe we're better than that. We are close to reaching an all-time low. The media continues to throw fuel in the fire with their failures to report anything resembling the truth. It makes me think of the good old days when reporters and papers were trusted. The good old days. When we criticize the media's failures, we see memes with stuff like,
"First they came for the journalists. We never found out what happened next."
I know what happened next. The American people finally got a truthful account without a political bent. I'm talking to you too, Fox News. I hate to be that guy, and as I said before, I'm not one for a wide belief in conspiracy theories. But today, that's exactly the territory I'm gonna tread, because this whole topic is deserving of some healthy skepticism. With that being said, let's stroll on over to Prepper Dave's Conspiracy Zone. Probably gonna put some creepy ass music or something like that right here. There is an insidious campaign of disinformation and deception that is perpetuating the strife and widening the divide between Americans. Most of the division is being perpetrated by what those in the military tend to call bad actors. I'm not talking about Ben Affleck in the fucking Daredevil. I'm not even talking about Robert Downey Jr. in the Talk to the Animals Dr. Dolittle shit. These bad actors are inserting themselves into legitimate situations with the purpose of destabilizing any rational discourse on the subject. These folks are bought, trained, and paid for by special interests. They are bought and paid for by bank accounts, both foreign and domestic. Much of this misinformation is being spread by groups like the IRA or the Internet Research Agency, which is a Russian group specializing in spreading disinformation and hate through one of the most savage, powerful weapons known to mankind, the meme. I'm not talking about those cute memes with fucking cats and shit in them. These bad actors are trolling Americans with sophisticated and sometimes pretty damn funny memes. How the do you say bad actor in Russian? According to the article in Wired magazine, the link will be listed in the description below. These Ruskies are fluent in trolling Americans. They do not type in broken English. They understand our vocabularies and sensibilities. Another car is going by. The IRA has set up Facebook groups, Instagram accounts, Twitter accounts, and use them to troll Americans to the tune of millions of tweets, thousands of Instagram posts, and tens of thousands of Facebook posts from 2015 through 2017. One of the more notorious Russian troll accounts is a group called Born Liberal. They manufactured purposefully divisive memes, and we ate them up like Skittles. They were shared millions of times via the Born Liberal Facebook page, the Born Liberal Instagram page, and their Twitter account. Facebook and Twitter were used to troll African Americans and discourage them from voting for Hillary Clinton. The group purposefully encouraged these people to vote via text and on the wrong voting days, and propped up third-party candidates with the hopes of influencing the election on a national scale. Let me translate that for you, Buttercup. Every time you and I I share a meme that's unvetted and researched, we are basically acting as foreign agents. We're basically turned into a metric system using commie. We are being baited and we are taking the bait, hook, line, and sinker. We are being catfished. But this goes further. Let me give you a little bit of conspiracy vocabulary. That's a pretty complicated saying too. Today's term is false flag. A false flag operation is an act committed with the intent of disguising the actual source of responsibility and pinning the blame on a second party. These bad actors have been trolling us also by setting up demonstrations as well as setting up counter demonstrations in the same time and the same place. The internet propagandists have laid the foundation for the division. Knowing the political landscape in this country is a powder keg in need of only a spark to ignite, set off a cataclysmic chain reaction. Millions of dollars are being funneled into groups that employ guerrilla tactics to act as the spark, many times infiltrating demonstrations and protests. Most recently, these bad actors have acted as the spark during the George Floyd protests. Paid insurgents were caught on video, infiltrating crowds, committing violent acts, and walking away. F them. They were caught on video, smashing store windows and encouraging people to go inside and take what they wanted. When the people started to take what they wanted, these bad actors walked away. They didn't face any of the consequences of stupid shit they did. No, there are videos of these treasonous bastards handing out bricks to protesters, encouraging them to throw them at other peaceful protesters and police officers. They know what they're trying to do. Pallets of bricks were left on the street corners, and it wasn't because they were going to build some kind of fancy pergola or shit like that. The powder keg blew, and we were all losers. False flag. Boy. Anyway, enough of that depressive look at how stupid we are. It's time to open Prepper Dave's mailbag and answer some of your pressing questions. Maggie K asks a two-parter. Part 1. What is the best defense for a short girl against these Antifa goons? Well, Maggie, normally I'd say use your elbows and take out their nutsack. But seeing as how these are Antifa goons, I think that's going to be a pretty difficult target to hit. Might I suggest an alternate, more realistic target for you? The best way to fell a large tree is to take out its root. In other words, take out them knees, Snooky. Kyle will drop like a sack of potatoes. Part 2. I have a trained attack cat. What are your thoughts on my attack cat with my loaded weapon if my home is attacked? Are you asking if it's a good idea to give your cat a loaded firearm? Because as a responsible member of the NRA, I'd have to say yes. That sounds like a fantastic idea to me. What could go wrong? Have at it. Last question. Dan M asks, holy mackerel. Dan, that is quite a question. What the f*** is this, a Stephen King novel? That's a little bit too much reading for me, but luckily I was able to get the audiobook version. Stand by, Dan. Wow, read by Matthew McConaughey? Prepper Dave is to be caught up in the middle of an occupied to defend their property and willingly let. And if they... Whoa. Alright. Okay, Cliff Notes version. How can a group of people be such p***s as to allow a group of thugs, I believe you're speaking about the Chaz zone here, to allow a group of thugs to take over an entire neighborhood? I'm as lost as you are on this one, Dan. I think maybe the legitimate folks in that neighborhood could learn a lesson by watching a couple of shows from the 80s. Remember the Three Amigos? Where a group of people who weren't stood their ground against the evil El Guapo. Maybe they could watch an old episode of the A-Team, where the team rescues a bunch of villagers by turning their van into a fucking army tank and shit, using 55-gallon drums. Anyhow, on a more serious note, the mayor of Seattle and the city council of Seattle are embarrassing human beings. What they have done to that city, they have no right to do. What they've done to that city is a disgrace. They are failures as human beings. Anyway, links are listed below. I gotta go cool off. Until Valhalla.